Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, it's lovely to see you. Welcome to all those in the room. Welcome to those joining us online. It's lovely to have you here today. Welcome to day 3 of EU Agri-Food Days 2025. My name is Sasha Twining. I'm here to guide you through today. Make sure you get everything you need out of your time here. It's lovely to see you here, and welcome again to you wherever you are joining us from online. So many hundreds of people we have online with us today. Before we start, can I just ask, anyone new in the room today? This is the third day, but anyone has chosen to join us today? Yes? Welcome. It's lovely to have you here. We are translating into 24 different languages with our amazing team of interpreters. You will also find, as we go through the day, lots of opportunities to make your voice heard. The great thing about these days is that actually we bring all stakeholders together. So when I say opportunities to make your voice heard, it's really important that we do hear the voices of all the different stakeholders, because it's great to have this opportunity to have these very wide and open conversations. So a quick show of hands in the room for me, just so we know who's here. Who would regard themselves as a farmer? Fabulous. Welcome. Or someone representing farmers as well, or those on the land. Great, thank you. What about those who supply things to the land? So you're sort of yet lovely, thank you. Those in machinery, for example. Wonderful, okay. Some very strong hands here at the front. What about if you are in research, scientific research, education? Oh, how great to have you here. Lots and lots of you. What about policy? Yes, look at that. So, suddenly there are lots of hands going up at policy. And then finally, what about if you consider yourself in tech or innovation? Good. You are in the right place then, aren't you, for the digital day. So today is all about digital innovation and AI. It is very, very much about the future, shaping the future, and ensuring that everyone is on that path together as well. So just to have in your mind as we start, the key objectives for today. How do we get to a digital-ready farming and food sector? What should the priorities be? When we leave this room, let's sort of have in our minds what the priorities should be. How do you get public and private initiatives working together? How do you do that? What does each one of them need? How can you get them together to accelerate digital adoption as well? And how do you avoid the digital divide? That is the last thing anyone wants as we adopt and transition to new way of working. So that's the last thing anyone wants. So today we're going to concentrate very much on those topics. We're going to have some fabulous guests here on this stage. But first of all, I want to hear from you. So if you could get your phones out for me. Everyone get their phones out. First of all, make sure they're on silent. And I would like you to join us on Slido. So those who have been here a couple of days know how this works. If this is your first day in the room, quite simply, open your camera app, point it at the QR code, and that will take you directly to Slido. And I would really like everyone's views on this one. So what I am asking you is, when you think of digital, what's the word that comes to mind? So what's your favorite buzzword around digital? What's it going to be? What could it be, I wonder? I wonder who's going to say exciting or scary. Oh, look at that. AI straight in the middle there. Yeah, but what is artificial intelligence? It means so many different things to so many different people. Efficiency, brilliant. Data, the future, transformation, humility, expensive. I'm sure we will talk about the cost here. Of course we will. Simplification, transformation. Who was it who put lots of apps on my phone? I think we can all relate to that, can't we? So yes, we can certainly talk about interoperability as well, and making sure that actually we're not doing lots and lots of different things, and making sure that everything works together. Skills, young, possibilities, efficiency, lots of different things. Thank you for that. We will try and touch on every single one of those thoughts as we go through. But allow me to welcome now my guests on stage to give their thoughts and their views, their priorities maybe. So first of all, I'm delighted to say we have the head of digital agriculture at the FAO, that's the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Please welcome Daniela Di Giannantonio. Thank you. Thank you. Come and take a seat. We have the Vice President of the Committee of Professional Agriculture Organizations, Copa Cogeca. Please welcome Soren Sorengard. Thank you very much. Thank you. Come and take a seat. The President of the European Agricultural Machinery Association, Stefan Top. He was the one whose hand went straight up at machinery. Lovely to have you here, Stefan. Thank you very much. The Deputy Director General at the Agency for Green Transition and Aquatic Environment at the Ministry of Green Transition of Denmark. Delighted to have John Emil Simonsen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Come and take a seat. Lovely. Thank you. And finally, joining us for this conversation, the Director for Strategy and Policy Analysis at DG Agri. Please welcome Catherine Schulen-Lanel. Thank you. It's lovely to have you here. Now, could we have Slido, the word cloud, back on the screen, if I may, please? Brilliant. What do you think when you look at that? Any thoughts? Any initial thoughts? Catherine?
Yes. Positive thoughts.
Positive?
Yeah. Meaning that, of course, you see a couple of, elements which are, for example, related to, whether Europe is there, because you have China and Elon,
Yep.
A couple of elements which are related to risks, obviously, but what's coming out is really linked to, what it can bring, efficiency, data, innovation, opportunities, future.
Yeah.
So it
revolutionary
seems,
as well. I've just spotted.
It seems that there is a rather positive mood, which is, of course, good.
Well, let's hope we remain so, and deal with the challenges with a very optimistic point of view. Thank you very much. Good to get all of your thoughts on that. Now, the next thing we thought we'd do before our discussion, we thought we'd get an overview of actually what is working well in the sector, where the sector is maybe not working quite so well, and also look beyond the EU as well. So, Daniela, would you mind giving us an overview of how you see this? Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. It's really an honor to be here today and to open this very special day of this conference dedicated to the Digital Agri-Day, under the theme of digital innovation and artificial intelligence, and how we can shape them together for the future of agriculture. And so I would really like to start with one word coming from the title of this session. And this word is actually not digital, it's together. How together we can shape the future of agriculture in the area of digital innovation and artificial intelligence, when digitalization is no longer an option, but it's a must. If we think about it, agriculture has always been shaped by technology. We went from the plow to increasing productivity with the tractor and mechanization, to genetics, fertilizers, pesticides, to the agriculture 4.0, so the internet technologies, satellites, algorithms, GPS. They made agriculture more precise. And every technological wave has transformed the sector, which brings us to today. Today, we are entering the agriculture 5.0, where artificial intelligence turns data into prediction, into automation. And we obviously see this very well on farms, right? Farmers can optimize production. With AI, we can process data from sensors, from satellites, from weather stations, from drones, and we can allow farmers to farm more precisely and with less resources. We have AI bots that can deliver very personalized advisory services to farmers 24/7, and that can translate complex data and information into simple guidance. But the applicability of artificial intelligence and digital innovation goes far beyond production. It's not just about producing more anymore, it's about producing better, in a better environment, for better nutrition, and for better lives. So AI and digital innovations are really reshaping entire food systems. We can see marketplaces and traceability systems that connect producers to consumers, enabling more transparency in supply chains, or fintech that opens access to credit, to insurance, to subsidies for farmers. And with AI, we can now assess these risks better and using alternative data. Or policymakers, of course, they can turn data and even real-time data into more targeted policies. So from farm to market to policy, this is truly a system-wide transformation. So listening to this, one might say, okay, great. With AI, we have solved all our problems. No need to worry anymore. But well, you can imagine reality on the ground is far more complex. And as with the internet era technology, we haven't yet achieved universal access yet. Also in artificial intelligence adoption, it is not and will not be automatic. At FAO, I work across the Europe and Central Asia region, which of course includes the EU and Central Asian countries, but also the Western Balkans, Turkey, Ukraine, Moldova, and all the Caucasus countries. And if you think about it, it's a region that is very, very diverse. We see side by side some of the most advanced digital farming systems, and on the other side, just maybe a few kilometers away, farmers who still struggle with access to basic infrastructure and connectivity. So deep digital divides persist, and not just between countries or within the region, but globally too. And this is happening in a moment of converging pressures. On one hand, we have a push, an urgency to digitalize, and this has never been stronger because of climate change that forces farmers to produce more with less resources, or because of labor shortages that require more mechanization, automation, robotization, but also accessing markets requires increasingly traceability and certification data. But on the other hand, at the same time, barriers remain high. And so connectivity and infrastructure is still uneven. And many countries in the region are dominated by small farms, and so they struggle to adopt and to afford digital technologies. And land is fragmented, so they struggle to apply it consistently. So we see gap both from the demand and the supply side. And let's now look a bit more in depth at supply and demand dynamics for digital technologies in agriculture in the region. So to monitor the supply side, we developed the Agri-Tech Observatory, which tracks digital solutions and other initiatives applied in the agri-food sector in the region. And this helps us understand which digital products and services exist, where digital technologies are applied, where gaps exist, and how digital innovation ecosystems are evolving in the region. And what we see, and I do encourage you to visit the platform and to play with the filters and with the analytics, what we observe is a landscape that is expanding rapidly, rapidly, but also unevenly. And we see technological sophistication increasing, yes, but interestingly, the solutions that survive and scale are not necessarily the ones more technologically sophisticated. They are the ones with grounded business models and that deliver real value for farmers. So technology actually survives when it meets the demand, when it meets the farmers, and when the farmers are ready to use it. So let's look at the demand side, at the farmers. Let's look at farmers' digital readiness. At FAO, we monitor the demand through farmers' digital readiness surveys that we conduct in our beneficiary countries. So today, let's look at some interesting data that we collected in Albania, which is a country in the Western Balkans, but also a pre-accession country. And let's also go a bit further away and let's look at a developing country, Tajikistan. For the EU, there is a recent report, an excellent report from the JRC on the state of digitalization in EU agriculture that is helping us extracting very interesting data. And let's start from the EU. In the EU, most farms do have access to internet and devices, but affordability is where adoption starts to break. So while basic tools are affordable and widely used, when we move to the more specialized agriculture technology adoption, this is where we start seeing gaps because farmers consider them expensive. And let's now think of skills. Skills are also a critical constraint, as most farmers have never received formal digital training, but in the EU, very interestingly, when they received such training, then digital adoption increases dramatically. So if we go a bit outside the EU, in the neighborhood, Albania. In Albania, connectivity is improving very fast, and many farmers do have access to internet and to smartphones, but they use it mainly for communication and not for agriculture. And while they are open to digital technology, digital readiness remains limited by low digital skills again, but also the small farm size, so limited affordability and applicability, and limited availability of locally adapted solutions. And further away, Tajikistan, here the challenge is more fundamental. Here we have unstable electricity and very unreliable and too expensive internet, deep structural inequalities, including gender. So here, digital exclusion is more structural. It's a fundamental problem, and digital agriculture cannot really advance without first addressing those basic needs. So what does all of these tell us? It tells us that the digital divide is real, and it can take different shapes as we see different barriers that are hindering adoption. And with AI, we are now really at a tipping point. AI can dramatically accelerate productivity, sustainability, and resilience, but it can also amplify existing divides if we don't positively harness it. So, to go back to the title of this session, what does shaping together actually require from us? First, that we create an enabling environment, so conducive policies, but also infrastructure and meaningful rural connectivity that can reach rural area and every farmer everywhere and anywhere. And secondly, to invest in data governance and ecosystem, because AI depends on data, and so we must collect data, anonymize data, make them available, make data trusted, interoperable, and governed in the public interest. Third, democratize digital public goods. Open data, but also open platforms and open source solution that can lower the cost and reduce exclusion. And fourth, promote the innovation ecosystems, co-creation, collaboration, solutions that are designed not just for the farmers, but with the farmers. And finally, of course, raise awareness and digital skills, because no technology scales without people. So skills, training, advisory services are as important as algorithms. And my very last note, concluding remark, again, is on togetherness. I believe we all agree there is no single actor that can shape the future of AI and digital agriculture alone. There is no government, no private sector organization, no research institute, not FAO, nor the EU, not farmers by themselves, right? Together, we can build enabling environments. We can govern data fairly. We can share digital public goods. We can co-create solutions that farmers can actually use, and we can invest in skills and awareness. Europe here has a very unique role to play as a leader in digital innovation, but also as a reference point for pre-accession countries and the neighboring regions. Because shaping the future together also means shaping it beyond borders. So together, we can ensure that digital innovation and AI strengthen agri-food systems rather than divide them, leaving no one behind. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniela, thank you so much. Thank you. Come and take a seat. Such interesting figures that you have to share, and actually it was really, really great to see all the different ways that you are able to look at the different facets and what is needed. And as you say, actually the EU, a guiding light for those if you really want to make it work. Of course, the challenge is continuing that. What I'm going to do now is actually pick on the key word that you used, talked about throughout, and that is together, bringing everyone together and sharing what we have. And I think it's a perfect opportunity now to actually bring somebody else on stage to talk about a project that is going on. It's a major new Horizon Europe Research and Innovation Initiative. It is all about bringing people together and sharing what is there. So I'm delighted to welcome from the European Partnership, the Agriculture of Data, to tell us a little bit more about it. Please welcome from the Danish Agricultural Agency, Jesper Stendal Sorensen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My slides, please. Thank you. My name is Jesper Stendal. I'm part of the coordination from the Agency for Green Transition and Aquatic Environment. We change the names a lot in Denmark, so for the agencies in the Ministry of Green Transition. I am representing the partnership Agriculture of Data here, and thank you for having me. So what are the Agriculture of Data all about? Well, we are a 7-year partnership, started October 1st this year. We are in 2 contract periods, 2 + 5 years, and we will end in 2032. We are 61 partners from 22 countries, many member states, but also associated countries outside of the European Union. And we have a total budget of 300 million euros across the 7 years. So what do we want to achieve in the Agriculture of Data? The general objectives: sustainability, and sustainability in the broadest sense, not just the green sustainability goals on environment, climate, and biodiversity, but also the sustainability, which means for the farmers on the competitiveness across Europe and North America. We want to strengthen policy monitoring, and we want to do that. One of the key aspects is utilizing Earth observation. And we want to utilize the new digital innovations and technologies in Europe. How do we want to do this? Well, we have basically 2 ways of activating the potential and the developments of the partnership. We have what we call use cases, internal developed use cases, national funded use cases, and we have external calls. I'll get back to the external calls later. The use cases, here you see an example of a use case. So that's one example of what we want to do. This is on acquisition and sharing and use of very high satellite imagery. So it's a centralization of the procurement of satellite imagery to basically optimize the use and centralize the use of the imageries provided from Copernicus and other sources of satellites. This should be of the benefit for not just policymakers, but all farmers also across Europe. So this is one example of how and what we want to do. As you mentioned, Sasha, a main object of the partnership as a whole is to reach an umbrella effect. So we want to be a centralized part of the European data infrastructure for data utilizing. This means that we want to achieve an umbrella effect on creating a cooperation between similar initiatives across Europe. We want to facilitate data sharing, and we definitely also want to support the upscaling of pilot projects, make them not national but Europe-wide to the benefit of farmers and policymakers. And this, of course, needs to be done by aligning with the EU initiatives and policies. One way of achieving an umbrella effect is creating synergies, and we had a synergy day. We were invited and joining the Synergy Days, a standing event in October this year, and I'm also happy to say that Synergy Days 2026 will take on in Ireland in October, so please join, and if you would like more information, visit our stands in the coffee area out in front, or go to our website, agricultureofdata.eu, and learn more. And here you can also find more information on the external call, which is open right now, and the short proposal ends on January 21st. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And yeah, I will remind everyone that you've got to stand outside, I promise, when we go to coffee break, and they can come and find you. Yes, but thank you very much. So let's get talking about this then. Let's have a discussion. Let me just remind you some of the key issues that we need to talk about. It's basically how we get to a digital-ready farming and food sector. What do you think the priorities are? Public and private, how do you get them working together? How do you avoid the digital divide? Danielle, you've talked so well about that digital divide. I just would like to go along the line, if I may, and find out where you would rate the sector along the digital pathway, okay? So I'm going to do 1 to 10. And we can discuss it more later, but let's just get a number from you. So 1 is really there is no digital adoption, really poor, poor adoption, poor connectivity, but just people have not embraced, okay? So that would be 1. Through to 10, and that is the sector is really engaged, it is making full use of all digital tools, everyone is on board and really happy and you know, I'm loving the look on Soren's face, by the way. He's thinking, how am I going to answer this? So,
I don't want to be the first one to answer.
Where do you think, from your perspective, the sector is? Catherine?
I'm not very kind to start
I
with
know.
me.
Do you know, I did.
No, but that's okay.
Well, do you know, actually, shall I leave you to the end?
No, that's okay. That's okay. Let's
okay.
be bold and take risk. You know, no risk, no fun. I would say 6.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
Better than average. First also because I love agriculture and farming, but also because we see that the adoption of digital is getting better and better. And I don't think that also Europe, from that perspective, but maybe Daniela will confirm or not, is necessarily lagging behind other regions. But still, there is a lot to do. Yeah. So that's why I wouldn't maybe go beyond 6.
Okay, I mean that is it's a positive number. We're at 6. More to do, but we're getting there. John, where would you go?
Yeah, I would say the picture in Europe is very differentiated, as she said. I think the Danish farming industry is at a high level.
Okay, so you speak from your experience then with the Danish farming industry. Where would you put?
I think about an 8, but certainly
cool.
is probably more.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. So Stefan, from the machine. Oh, I've got to speak for the industry. So looking at sort of your perspective, which is a lot of machinery in there as well. So that sort of digital adoption, where do you think we are on that pathway?
Well, I think the machinery industry is far away. I would give it a 6 or 7 over 8. We are really ready to deliver. But if I look down to the adoption, also in Europe, we are really lagging behind if you compare it to Australia or the Americas. There I would give a 3. Also,
Ooh, ouch! That was a 3 for anyone who
yes,
didn't. Yeah.
Last year we were presented the survey. And the figures were very deploring. Yeah. So I think much is to come. We really need to help the sectors to adopt,
so
providing them the tools and facilitate the adoption. So we also have a responsibility in this, but a 3 for adoption in Europe.
Ouch, okay, but very interesting because it means, therefore, there can be a lot more progress, which means a lot more opportunities. So, yeah, a 3 for adoption, okay. Soren?
Well, it's always nice to write a number before you hear everyone else sing.
Yeah, I know, I'm so sorry, Catherine.
So I wrote my number.
Have you changed it?
I have an 8.
And, okay.
And I understand everything you said. Of course, we are very different in Europe. And that's due to geography, which type of farmer you are, which region you are in. So of course, and I know farmers also who maybe are on a 3, but I also know farmers who are on a 10, who have everything available on their farm. Their fields are handled with GPS satellite, they have drones, they have technologies in the barns. And it was actually me who wrote apps on my phone before when you asked. And we can talk about that later, but I just counted this morning, I have 31 apps I use on my farm.
So 31 agricultural apps directly related to your farm?
Some of them from the machinery company, John Deere's apps, for example, someone from the companies who deliver stuff for my barns, and a lot of economy apps as well. So I think actually we have a good adoption, but it has to be available. It was very interesting what you talked about also, just a simple thing that you need a smartphone and you need internet. And we have that most places in Europe now, but it's actually quite important because that's the only way you can get it down in a farmer's hand, I think, to be able to use it in an everyday life. But an 8.
You're an 8. Okay, okay. Daniela?
So I would have given it a 7, actually. Maybe it's my benchmark, as I work with so many countries that are developing. But definitely, I think Europe, together with some other region, North America, Australia, is leading the way. And while we have so much to learn from other regions in the world, from how China is doing, how South America, yes, I do believe we are still in the right pathway, and we need to work on adoption that is still fragmented, so moving from pilot to scale, working a lot with the demand, building those digital skills, building those farmers' digital readiness so that they can truly make meaningful use of digital technologies.
It's really interesting when we talk about apps on phones and being in touch. So you say you're sitting there with 31 apps on your phone. Sorry. Have you got anything else as well as just...
I put them in one map.
One map, okay. Yeah. Quick show of hands in the room for those who are a farmer. Raise your hands again for me. Those farmers in the room, okay. Keep your hand up if you have something on your phone now that connects you to your farm. So you can check something. Fabulous. Can we just quickly get a handheld microphone to the gentleman? There's 2 with their hands up. Lovely, thank you. Oh, yep, okay, that one first, and then we've got another one here. Thank you. Would you mind just saying your name and your farm?
My name is Stoyan Chukunov. I'm from Bulgaria, and I'm connected because I have also photovoltaics on my farm, so I can follow what is the electricity production, and what is the overall electricity consumption in my farm.
So it's electricity.
But I have also the cameras, so I can observe the cattle. And, you know, I'm 24 on my farm. 24 hours in my farm, basically.
Have you looked at your cattle this morning?
Great. They're very happy cattle.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Those are beef-type cattle, so they have about 100 hectares to walk around. And I'm just following what is the additional feed they're taking. So it's a free-range cattle, yeah.
So it's feed, it's you're watching them,
yeah,
it's
but
also your
the water
voltaics.
levels, etc., yeah.
Yeah, thank you. There was a gentleman over there with his hand up as well. Yeah, has someone else got a microphone? Fabulous.
Sí.
Oh, there's two in the same. Yourself first, sir.
Sí,
Yeah.
mejor en español, si pueden
Oh.
ponerse
Okay, for those who want to speak, listen in Spanish. Yes, thank
or
you.
in Catalan.
Yeah.
That I cannot.
No, Catalan, we don't have interpretation.
We don't actually have interpretation for Catalan. Is it? Yeah.
De Nashville. Tengo una explotación como mi compañero Soren y yo no las he contado si son 31 o 35, pero que cada vez necesitamos más de la digitalización. Es una explotación de porcino donde controlamos con el móvil todos los parámetros relacionados con la reproducción, con la alimentación, con el bienestar, con el suministro, con las visitas programadas de los veterinarios, con los suministros energéticos por si hay algún error. O sea, yo creo que más de 30 aplicaciones increciendo, porque cada vez más hay un retorno importantísimo de la digitalización en nuestras explotaciones. Se ha convertido en una herramienta indispensable.
Thank you. So, as you say, the number keeps going up and up and up. For anyone who didn't get the translation, you think more than 30 apps, but it keeps increasing. So it's clear that it's necessary. It's necessary if you want to have that overall view and to monitor and to see what your cattle, your pigs, whatever they are doing. But how do we ensure that those tools are available for everyone and ensure that farmers are able to access? What do you think the issue is? Is it not knowing the benefits, or is it simply having the lack of access to the financial access to the tech, or is it lack of connectivity? In your experience, what do we need to tackle most? John, yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of the things that I think also stressed before is also the skills.
Skills.
Yeah, we have also in Denmark, we have aging farmer population, and the necessary skills to use all these apps you need to learn, and we need to help them do this. And it's industry as well as government when we introduce new apps. So I think that's one of the areas to focus on, but there's a lot of other areas.
So who then is responsible for that training? Is it the industry that's introducing the technology? Is it?
No, I think a lot of it is to do with collaboration. No one can handle this challenge alone. So of course it's industry as well as organizations, state and other parties, and we need to work more together on this.
Yeah, I concur with what you've just said. I think that when we look at what all our member states have developed in their national strategy on digitals, which is part of the what has been required in the current CAP. The question of building skills and awareness and train people is an important part of these strategies. Of course, taking into account the diversity of systems that exist in member states. And that's important to further enhance that part. So this is, obviously, we are lucky in the agricultural sector that we have, in most member states, we have robust advisory services and training systems, and digital has been gradually integrated into this system, so that's important that we continue to put efforts on that, and in the next CAP we'll make sure that this will continue to be further strengthened.
And it always strikes me that when we talk about helping farmers or getting farmers' views even, the cost question always comes up because, you know, farmers can't afford to come away from the field or something for more training or... Sorry, was that you wanted to come in there? Oh, no, Stefan, sorry.
Yes, I think it was mentioned, so proving affordability and benefits is also a very important thing. That's one thing which it's touched and I would recommend. But if farmers see the benefit and they have a short return, they adopt easily, if they have the skills, of course. Another thing which I want to mention is interoperability and connectivity with the different systems is very important. So I can only recommend seeds because 31 applications. I can imagine it's a challenge for you to transfer data from one system to another. Oh, yeah. Not every farmer is a data scientist or an engineer. So seeds is very important as a system where we can interconnect. Our industry is also investing a lot. So RAF, which is an association sponsored by our industry, they made a connection with Isobus, all known, which works pretty well. They are also working from cloud-to-cloud connectivity. We are investing quite a lot in this. So facilitating interoperability is one of the main things to increase adoption.
I think, you know, interoperability is key, isn't it? Because you don't want to have, exactly as you say, one set of data that actually won't work with something else, that is then taking more time and that you have to redo it another way, and you're just duplicating what you're doing. Who needs to do more to improve those interoperability challenges? I mean, Soren, you're using apps all the time, as so are many people in the room. So where are the sticking points? Where are the challenges? Who needs to do more?
But you're completely right about how do we make a setup so that we don't have 30 different places with 30 different sets of data. It would be nice to say, of course, that's a government issue to do. I'm not sure, but we need some partnerships, doing things together, like you said, so that we use the same platforms, and somehow we need to agree on, of course, who owns the data. It has to be the farmer who owns his or her own data, but we also have to be ready to share it, otherwise we cannot move forward. Some data doesn't have to be shared. I have an app, for example, which I use all the time, who monitor, like Ramon said, the health in the pigs, how fast are they growing, what's the feed consumption, things like that. I don't really need that to be shared with anyone else than my employees, and they can also see that in the app every morning. But then I have other apps where it's all the things we do in our fields. So when we are giving fertilizer to the fields, when we are spraying the fields, and all these data we have to send somehow to the government, either in our fertilizer plan or a sprayer plan. And there it's just so important that we have a partnership, a public-private partnership, so that the data can talk together.
I think, you know, you paused almost when I said, you know, who needs to do more, and you were like, could it be government? Could it be that sort of public sector? And yes, there clearly are some apps, some applications of it that do need it. But is it your role, Catherine? Do you think you know you have that sort of public sector role to come in and go, right, this is clearly an issue, we need to solve this?
Yeah, I think we have a role to play there. You were kind enough to say that it's not only public authorities, but I think that public authorities, both at national and European level, have a role to play. We are putting a lot of efforts on developing this interoperability, particularly because we have this huge amount of data that we are collecting, the private sector, but also the public sector. And we see that, we cannot make the best use out of it to create new business opportunities, to help farmers also to take the best out of their own data, for example, to measure their performance, to use services, as this was mentioned. So yes, indeed, we have a lot of efforts there that we need to do. It's not easy. I shall say, not to be complacent, that there is some reluctance there from time to time, from public authorities, from member states to, make sure that we are doing better here. Hence, we've tried in the simplification package that has been recently approved, but without this provision to foster our efforts on interoperability, but we are persistent. We've put some elements in the next CAP proposal, so as of 2028, and we will keep on making sure that we create, so we need to discuss how this is going to work. Of course, we don't say that what we are proposing is necessarily the perfect solution, but just, I like to mention this anecdote, which is one of my colleagues was in a room with all, member states representative, whoever they are, and asking whether interoperability was important, and he was organizing a vote, and everybody raised their hands. And then he said, and do we have something to do there? What should we do? Do we need to take action? And then nobody raised their hands. So I think that there we have an issue. And I'm positive and constructive, but I think we need to wake up there. Of course, then it's about partnership. We cannot do it all. We have to work with the private sector, obviously, with the farmers' representative, with the machinery industry. So this is really also about cooperation, working together, as Daniela said.
Yeah, I was going to say, Daniela, what works well? What examples have you got where actually you can have those nice partnerships that work well? Because as Catherine says, more needs to be done, and it's clear that there is a role for the public sector there, clearly. What works well?
I think what works well is when we are able to create data ecosystems, because especially at this tipping point with artificial intelligence, let's remember there is no good AI without good data. So this is very critical. And we need data ecosystems, and we need governance framework that, in one hand, allow us to collect data responsibly, to anonymize the personally identifiable information, but also to make those data open for reuse by others. And who are those others that needs to contribute to this? Is, of course, EU, FAO, all the international institutions, it's national governments, but it's also academia and research institutes that can both collect and reuse data, as well as the private sector that can use those data to build better products and services that we desperately need. But let's see also the other side, which is on the demand on farmers. And what we see from our surveys, what is very clear is that farmers tend to have trust issues as soon as you're asking too many data from them. And so we need this good data governance framework that encourages them and that explains to them how those data will be used responsibly and processed and shared, and how we can show real value for the farmers out of these data.
Daniela, where's the biggest trust issue with sharing data? Is it with public organizations or private organizations? Or is it both?
I will say it is both, right? So, of course, farmers always fear of, excessive control. They are already doing a very hard job, right? And they fear that, if they are communicating something that is not right, it will be punished for them. So I will say it is really on both sides. Okay. So that's why governments need better public services right? Offering them real value so that they can give back data, and private companies need to ensure these responsible data frameworks.
So farmers have got to clearly see the benefit. If they're being asked to share something, clearly can see the... John, you were nodding all the way through when Daniela was talking about trust.
Yeah, it's a big issue, I think, and I agree. From a Danish agency, this is something we came across historically as well. We were one of the first countries to introduce the satellite monitoring, and I know it was a big debate back then when we started monitoring the entire field. If what were we going to use this data for? And I would say the main thing there is the transparency in the data use. That's the key to accepting this, and then also addressing the things about controls, sanctions, and that it won't escalate to a new level than before.
So how do you feel that you have overcome those problems? Do you feel that you have a better relationship now with farmers? You are?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But this was something that we addressed years ago, so it's taken some time. And I think a lot of dialogue with Søren's organization as well has been key to this transition.
Partnerships, again, isn't it? Partnerships and dialogue. Catherine?
Yeah, just to confirm that, yes, trust is essential, and this is not something that you build, in just one day. It is something that where you need time. You need also a regulatory framework. I come to that. We didn't start with that, but Europe has also worked a lot on building, a regulatory framework which is protecting also, privacy, making sure that you only share the data you want to share, so that is essential. We've done that in general for digital. We've recently also worked on AI. That's super important. Then, of course, it's going to be, the positive experience that farmers will have in the field, on the ground, that will also encourage farmers to adopt these technologies and see that they can bring the benefit, they can reap the benefit without having, risks, and that is important. So listening to farmers who have, a positive approach of this and how this can serve, better their economic, environmental performance, that's super important, because I believe that as soon as farmers are convinced, they are quick in adopting new technologies. Yeah. I think this is one of the messages that Daniela brought forward too.
Yeah, and farmers are entrepreneurs. Farmers know how to, when they see a benefit, they know how to utilize it. I mean, Stefan, do you see that once a farmer, it's give the machinery point of view of this one. Has a farmer got to see the benefit before they share data? Are you asking for data sharing? How does it work with you and your members?
Data sharing is still an issue, and it has a lot to do with trust. We will never breach any agreements, so farmers are in charge. There are systems built also where farmers can govern and control who they give access to their data, but still farmers lack trust. They lack trust to share the data with their clients because they think they are in control, but if the clients don't get the data, he cannot make value of it. So there should be more agreements between their clients and the supplier, the farmers in this case. Which data can he share, and are my benefits, and how can I give back some value of these benefits to the farmer because of sharing. So working together is key there. And the agro-food chain, I think there is a lot of value that can be made by sharing data from farmers to the agri-food, but then trust again is the word, and also the food industry should share some of the benefits they make of having the data available.
You've got to have that transparency of what you get back. But Søren, it was interesting. One of the first things you said is that who owns the data, and that's got to be clear from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's also what you say. We have to agree on that, but But I guess we also, if we talk about the machinery industry, we used to have a challenge also to share data between the different operators, the different models. Can one tractor type share data with another tractor type? So, but I think that's better now, isn't it, than it was when we started this travel 5-10 years ago.
We are really working hard on this. IEF is really working on these connectors to connect cloud applications. Before we were making proprietary systems, we were piling up the data, but there is no value in data
So
if it's not information.
So if you bought a green tractor, it was difficult to buy a red tractor.
Yes. But we are really working on this. Isobus, this functions. So the same organization will now work on cloud-to-cloud applications, and it will work. Also, we have very big expectations. You are in the room about seeds, where it's a European project where we have interoperability much more governed. So we have very high expectations about seeds.
Yeah. But it's really interesting just watching the pair of you talk, because it's clear that you need those partnerships, because if you're a manufacturer or something, you don't actually know what the day-to-day struggles are for the farmer that's using your kit. I'd like to just have a quick poll, if I may, in the audience. So if you wouldn't mind getting out your phones for me, and we're going to throw the Slido code up on the screen again. Because I think just for our final few minutes together, I would love to know what you think of this. So what we're asking you is, what do you think the secret is for blending tech and farming together? So what's the secret? What is it? Daniela, I think this is going to be very interesting for you, what our audience think. So we're asking you whether it is a digital education, speedy rural internet, user-friendly farming apps, policy, technology, industry partnerships. What's it going to be? So we can see the results there. I'm just going to give you a couple more moments. I think there's about a quarter of the room voted. I think our interpreters are probably doing a fabulous job of interpreting what the options are as well. Okay. That's a good percentage of the room that has voted there. And I think it's really clear, isn't it? It's digital education. Okay. How do we solve that one then? What do you do? Do we send everyone back to an AI school? Do we have a travelling roadshow going around with a caravan going, come and get your smartphone?
Well, just to give you an example, when we have young trainees on our farm coming directly from agricultural school, to be honest, sometimes we have to ask them, how is it I set this GPS system in this new tractor? Because I just can't handle it. And they know how to do it. They learn it in school. And I don't consider myself as being one of the oldest farmers, but I still have to ask them sometimes, could you please help me to set this one up? So it's just going so fast, and the young farmers are well educated nowadays.
So it is basically like when you get a new phone or something, you take it home and it's your teenage son or daughter that sits there and sorts it for you. Okay. But not all farms have the luxury of having somebody coming into the farm that is from one of the agricultural colleges or universities. Okay. So it's great if you have it, but it's a problem if you don't.
Yeah. Maybe I hesitate to say it, but I mean, I'll be interested also to seek the views of, the members of this panel and the audience. There is also a generational issue. We know that we have an aging farming population, so I'm not saying that necessarily all older people are adverse to technology. I like to say that I love technology and I love this digital stuff, But it's true to say that when you have less than 12% of our farmers in the EU below 40 years old, that can also be an issue. So that needs to be integrated also in everything we've said in terms of building skill and savviness, With generation, maybe we were not just born with these technologies.
Well, that generation literally were not. So, yeah,
That's my point.
absolutely. And certainly the way that they would have learned their farming skills would have come certainly from a generation that never did. Yeah.
I was just wondering now, Stefan, you said that in Australia, in the US, they are better to adapt new technology. What is the difference? I mean, is there something we can learn?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Unfortunately, one of the things I need to say is scale, of course.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Like you say, they are bigger exploitations. They can attract also younger people. And then because of the scale, the benefits are calculated much easier. And that's I think one of the main reasons why adoption is taken on much more than in Europe. But also I think age is really a thing. I really am convinced that consolidation in farming will go really fast in the next 10 years. But still, we are with this population, and I think we need to adapt because we cannot expect from this aged farmers to adapt. So we need to adapt. We need to facilitate our applications so it's more easy to use.
Yeah, and actually that's a very interesting point there. The machinery industry, other industries need to actually do more to ensure that those are not left behind, that those using it are not left behind. Daniela, the age issue. You must see, it's going to be a challenge in different regions as well.
Absolutely. And in my region, we have countries where the average age is above 60s, actually. Yes. So the situation is not great. So in one hand, yes, we need to leverage technologies to bring youth back to agriculture, but we still need to work with the current farming population. So what works? What works is very, very simple solutions using technologies that they actually use in their daily life. And we do see very good smartphone penetration, even on those more older farmers. And so very simple solutions based on mobiles. There was an option in the poll, user friendliness. This is critical. So it's critical that private sector design solutions, not just for farmers, but really in the field and with farmers of all ages and all genders, so that they can truly be adopted by all generations and women and men farmers.
And something else that's just occurred to me, actually, if finance and accessibility of smartphones is an issue, you're unlikely to change your smartphone that often. So those apps need to work with older varieties of phones as well. John?
Yeah, that's been a current problem for us as well. But I also think that when you have the farmer aging problem, and as you say, that's not going to change in the next 20, 30 years. So we have to address that. Yeah. And one of the points that we have used to address that is, of course, building simple technology, but also accepting that sometimes they need to call you to get help through using the apps, using the applications for our eco schemes and stuff like that, because this group won't necessarily be helped by a simpler app or online help with that app. So personal assistance is also, for a period of time at least, an option you have to look into.
Yeah, a simple solution, having a phone line. Someone can call and speak to a human. I mean, in so many different areas, that would be so lovely.
It's not that modern, no.
Yeah, I know. Sorting out your water bill. I mean, anything. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Slido for questions for you, particularly for our online audience. I've got microphones in the room, so we can take questions from the floor here. If you are watching us online, or indeed in the room, if you would prefer, you can start putting questions into Slido. If you've got a specific person on the panel that you really want to hear from, feel free to direct your question to them. So while we are doing that, and the QR code is behind me, by the way, what we thought we would do while you're thinking about some of the areas you'd like to hear more about, we've got some wonderful pitches for you. We have invited 3 people all of whom have stands outside that you can go and visit in the coffee break. And we thought we'd bring 3 people onto stage who are working in this area and have got some great stuff that they can share with us. So I'm going to ask all 3 of them to come on stage, and so then we'll hear from them one by one. So please come, Ishani Wheeler, Pietro Spanor, and Mikel Batistassos. Please come and join us on stage. Thank you. Thank you. And Ishani, would you like to go first? So research coordinator from AI for Soil Health. Over to you.
Okay, 1 minute, right? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't have a stopwatch. It's okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here representing the AI for Soil Health project. I am from Open GeoHub Foundation. We are a not-for-profit open source software, open access data organization. This project, we are seeking to build European-wide open access digital infrastructure powered by AI, etc., assess, monitor, hopefully one day forecast soil health. Why is it important? Well, I don't think I need to tell you why it's important. I really sincerely hope you know. Please come to our stand and talk to us. It's a 24-year DataCube, European-wide, 30-meter resolution, annual, sometimes monthly, depending on the variable. There's no restriction to commercial use or reuse. And we have many input data sets under data sharing agreement, mostly from member states. So if you're not on our list, please come see me. Also, dear member states, I miss a few of you. Thank you, Denmark, we do have you. And yeah, please build on top, because this should be common knowledge.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have Pietro with us as well, project coordinator at the EU Farm Book.
Good morning. I have good news for the farmers and the foresters in the room. There is a new app they can install in the the app is called EU Farm Book. EU Farm Book grows with practical knowledge for farmers and foresters coming from European research. It is multilingual. It is also, I call the project collaborators in the room that work in European research to upload their material inside EU Farm Book so that we give it access to the farmers. It is also, an AI assistant helps you, a farmer and a forester, to find your way inside the EU Farm Book and to help and to find solutions for that. And at last, it is for free, so it's open access. So, final point is that if you visit us at our stand, we have a small present. It's just something that we give as parents to when people visit us, and when you have a baby, then you get this one. There's sweeties in it, and there's also a little bit of chocolate. So come to us and talk about the bright future of EU Farm Book.
Oh, I love the fact you get a free gift as well. Charlie's out thinking, we should have free gifts. Michael is technical coordinator from Agrarian.
That's right. Good morning. I'm coming from Research Center Demokritos in Greece. So we are the technical and managers, actually, the coordinators of the Agrarian project. So today and in general nowadays, we hear a lot about new solutions, smart solutions, digital tools, AI, drones, sensors. We have also developers developing new tools, but without being farmers by themselves. So the question is, does every farmer needs all these new technologies? Maybe they need something that we haven't thought about it yet. Also, is only farmers? No, there are other actors like municipalities, larger agricultural committees and organizations. So all these policymakers, let's say. So what Agrarian does? Agrarian brings all these multi-actors together. So we bring an ecosystem that the farmer can request a service, request a tool, a technology. The developer can interact and build this new tool, this new technology. The farmer can then get it, download it, or use it. And then the policymakers can collect all this data or selected data from a cluster of farms in order to view statistics, to make analysis, and to take the optimized decision or solution for this cluster of farms. So, of course, we offer new tools like AI models, decision systems, and the usual things that we hear nowadays. But what is the most important for us is to bring all this together and create a unique and integrated ecosystem. So I will be very happy to see you all at our booth and discuss more about it.
Thank you
very
so much. Thank you. Thank you. So yes, during the coffee break, go and see them. We have other stands out there as well that you can go and chat to people, make more contacts, new contacts, and find out what is happening in this world. So let's take some questions. We've got lots on Slido, but any in the room, first of all? Any show of hands? Fabulous. Okay, we've got microphones coming to you both. Lovely. Whoever, there we go. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself first, thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, my name is Florian Marin. I'm a member of the European Economic and Social Committee, and I'm coming from trade unions. I'm basically representing farmers. I have two specific questions. For the first one, how do you see the role of the farmers in a future governed by AI?
Okay, yeah.
And the second one, it's the following. We have spoke and we have heard about ownership of the data, that the farmer should own the data. Some of them aren't even perceiving that they are owning their data. But the question is, what should be the benefit for the farmers for sharing their data? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to hear answer the role of the farmers in the new AI world? Anyone in particular that you would like to hear from? No? Oh, okay. So not necessarily on a particular angle then. It's a really interesting question, and it's one that so many different industries are struggling with at the moment to try and answer. Stefan, what do you think?
Well, I don't think that AI will govern farmers. It's a tool for farmers to govern their farm. It's a tool to make a regulation of machines. It's a tool for adjusting machines. It's a tool for saving, spraying, crop protection products. It will not govern a farm themselves. The farmer will govern the farm. I don't think AI will.
Okay, and Danielle is nodding at you as well. Katharine, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree, of course, with what I've been saying. I would say that my understanding is that if farmers are not at the center of, these what we've called ecosystems, it will not work. So basically, it needs to. What we are developing, and hence why we need partnership and working together, is that we serve their needs and that they see the benefits, and that they see also that we help them to mitigate the potential risks. I think this is it. They should be at the center of this, and of course, as we said, it also means that we need also to have user-friendly application products and services.
The second question, and thank you, was also, and I'm going to paraphrase, what should the benefit be for the farmers? So I think, sorry, was that your hand, Stefan?
Yes,
Soren?
yes.
But Soren, I will also ask you as well, what should the benefit be? What's the carrot?
Well, when we started in our own company with the IoT system, we first thought there was a lot of information in agronomic data for the farmer in decision making. But then very quick we saw that a lot of data could be used in organizing logistics and a lot of the reporting to the government. So a lot of data could be used for other stakeholders. But then after some more time, we saw that more value is further away in the food chain. So when a farmer can provide data about the quality of the product he's producing, the food industry can adapt to the supply and can adapt the supply to the references they have to manufacture or to produce. So there's a lot of value, and then we come again with the word trust. If the farmer can share this data to his client, and some of the value has to return, that's also the agri-food processes that need to be concise, that they give value back to the farmer, then I think there's a lot of unexploited value there further down the chain.
What's the farmers that you know, Soren, what's the best thing they could get as a benefit? What would be top of the Christmas present list of benefits?
For example, we are active in potato machinery. So if a processor needs to make reference for one of the big food chains, the French fries need to be longer than 7 centimeters, 80%. So if they know with Farmer Paul in Barden 6, there are long potatoes, and they can adapt the supply to the reference they have to make for the food service guys. And then they have less waste in the factory. If it's 1%, you know, and they share some value of this 1% to the farmer, you still have enormous figures. So that's...
It's money then.
Yeah,
money.
It's hard money,
yeah.
but yeah, it's cooperation and it's trust because the farmer don't want anybody to look in his barn, and they don't want to know what potatoes are there because they want to trade a little bit. But in the long term, the big value is regulated with the contract and the supplier, and it's again trust. It's so both parties will have to talk to each other and adapt.
Is it money?
Well, two things. I think profit on the bottom line and an easier everyday life. I think we are very pleased to use technology because, the farms are getting bigger. It's just so nice to be able to, instead of writing everything down in papers like we used to do, have to sign out forms in the night. You do it during the day. I even pay my bills during the day in an app. And it's just so an easier everyday life and, of course, a bottom line.
Okay, let me just very quickly take some questions from Slido because we're nearly out of time. There's lots of hands up in the room, but I just want to address the fact that we've got some fairly critical questions online. So forgive me while I just quickly address those. The agricultural wallet, I think we're talking about in the next panel. That's all good. Is digitalisation really the answer when actually there are lots of different challenges that farmers are facing? Daniela, is it one of the ones that actually can't be ignored?
Well, technology is never the solution. It's just a tool to achieve certain objectives. So as we see during my presentation, technology itself, and right now artificial intelligence, is actually bringing some risks with them. Yes, many benefits and much potential, but we must harness it opportunely. We must harness it positively. Otherwise, we just risk to deepen these digital divides, and then we will have even more issues and more problems.
I'm going to allow the panel just very quickly just to address the most popular question in the room, which might be a really difficult one to answer. You don't have to answer it, but I think it's more of an acknowledgement that's needed. How do you protect EU farmers from, well, this person says a US-style data exploitation, but it is that. And that's really what we've been talking about, is who owns the data and ensuring that there is that benefit, that it's used for the right reasons. Yeah? Catherine, do you?
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly, what is meant under this US-style data, but what I can figure out is this idea that what we want to do, and maybe it's better to say what we want to do than what we don't want to do, is, as Soren said, we want to use these technologies, to improve profitability of farmers, as well as to help them to facilitate their daily life, interaction with their suppliers, customers, the public authorities. And we want to do that in such a way that they reap benefits and that we mitigate the risks. So we create also an environment, including a regulatory environment, in which we are protecting their data, that they are confident, and that we build trust with them. So this is the objective that we have, and where we would like to lead, in fact, in the global environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And just quickly looking through the other questions, so many on the issues that you've all raised as well, the interoperability, the vendor lock-in, avoiding vendor lock-in, which we didn't actually specifically mention, but it's got to be something as well when it comes to that transparency between both sides, and actually energy infrastructure as well, which is a whole other issue as well, of how we get enough connectivity to all the farmers. I think we talked about a lot. It's given a lot of food for thought. Are you all happy if people approach you during coffee break? Fabulous. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, delegates, please thank our panelists on stage. Thank you. Thank you. So, before you go, let me just tell you what we are doing next. We've got a good half hour for networking. So there are lots of different booths outside that you can go and chat to people, go and see more about some of those data projects, catch up with different people as well. Incidentally, if you are new here today, we've got a wonderful planting exercise. And if you've not got your seed yet, this is your last opportunity. And so we will be talking about simplification after the break. So the EU Business Wallet, how that works for farmers, and more questions about sharing data, interoperability, and making life easier and better with the benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you back here in half an hour. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.